Representative Christ.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Barosa. Sharp 37. Dahl. You have a call.
All right, we have a quorum. So I've given the committee members a copy of the report, even with some of the legislation taking out of here. It's still 202 pages, so I wanted to give people a chance to look at it. And so I'm not going to really ask you to sign the conference committee report right now, but I'll have a copy of the conference committee report. If you find any errors or changes that need to be made, that's why I don't really want to sign the conference committee report right now. And I can kind of, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but I just wanted to give you all a chance to look at it, and then we can sign the conference committee report this afternoon, or you can come to my office or tomorrow or something. I'll come by and get them. But does anybody have any questions? Senator Lewis, go ahead.
Yep. So I just want to clarify for the committee here, I worked with the senator. We are removing the annual supply language in this bill because we have to amend it because it has conflicting language in another bill. So it's going to be moving forward. I don't have a problem. We work together to remove it just so there's not conflicting language.
Okay, and then some of the other things that were removed were for the committee, the ones that are in gray are the ones that are off of there, the license plate, and then I'm sorry?
Inquire about that?
Sure.
Why are we taking that out? Is that the occupational therapy?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't think it fit in there.
Why not?
It doesn't pertain to healthcare.
It does pertain to healthcare. It's to allow occupational therapists to sign a waiver for people to get a disabled plate.
Okay, well, I don't think it does. So we can have that discussion. That's why we're having the conference committee.
I understand. So I'm
Okay.
trying to have that discussion.
Yeah.
I guess, can you help me understand why it doesn't fit?
I don't think it fit, if you're doing license plates, like a lot of times we do license plates.
It's not about license plates, though. It's about if you have an injury and you're going to occupational therapy, they can sign a paper to allow you to be eligible to get a disabled plate.
But if you have an injury, you probably go to your doctor too.
Your doctor can also sign it.
Yeah.
But your occupational therapist is the person that's actually doing the driver re-education.
All
not
right,
the
we can
doctor.
I checked with research, they said it didn't fit. We can check with them again, but they said it didn't fit.
Because it really isn't about license plates. It's about recognizing that someone has a disability such that they need a disabled plate.
All right, we can check on that.
Okay, I would appreciate that.
And then the other language that was taken out was the General Assembly preemption language, the prior authorization of care, the optometry language, and then the trauma center hospital designation. But like I said, yep, Representative Sharp, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. So I noticed you took out the trauma designation. I know this only pertains to, as far as we know, one hospital, St. Joseph's Medical Center off of State Line Road in South Kansas City. It just seems odd to me, Mr. Chairman, with all respect, that this bill really hasn't had any opposition from any elected member in this building. And I was generally under the impression that legislators would be making most of the decisions on these bills and not letting big lobby influence our decisions down the stretch. Mr. Chair, this medical center is already treating folks and saving lives. My father, when he had a heart attack, he was saved there because it was the closest hospital to us in South Kansas City. And if they can save lives, they can sure fix a broken leg. So I would really ask this committee to reconsider. I know it hasn't had a Senate hearing, but if we're talking about public safety and if we're talking about making lives a little easier, especially in South Kansas City, it would sure be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Representative Chris, go ahead.
I have a question for Senator Lewis, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm good with the birth control contraceptive language coming out. Is your SB 178 similar to Representative Peters 943? Is that did you guys carry companion bills with rep? I think your Senate Bill 178, is that right? It's at Representative Peters 943. I just want to make sure the rest of that bill stays intact while we're taking out
Yep.
the contraceptives, and I just wanted
Yep,
to make sure
it's-
you're, yeah.
It's identical, and I'm thinking we might end up exceeding the differences to mirror, and we can talk about this, the annual supply in this.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure the rest of the bill stays intact, because I talked to Representative Peters about that too, and I'm not that familiar with the language, so I just want to make sure you're comfortable with the language in there.
Yes, I am. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, if we have no other questions for the committee, I make a motion that we adjourn, and like I said, be happy to continue to discuss this. I don't want you to think we're rushing into signing this conference committee report. I want to make sure everybody's comfortable on the committee, so I make a motion, we adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, friend.